Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience. Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today. It says, what is the best way to get your calcium? And that's a great question because so many people think calcium is so vital, and especially if you're a female and you're in that age range where osteoporosis, or even the stage before that, osteopenia, where the bones start getting soft, is a concern because every doctor says take your calcium, right? So it's like, okay, I got to take my calcium pill, 1,000 milligram tablet, whatever. And there's mixed reviews on that. There's different thoughts on whether you should take calcium or not, because there's an issue with potential calcification of the arteries if you get too much. And then if you don't have enough vitamin D, which is very common, vitamin D is one of the number one deficiencies that we see next to magnesium. If you have not enough vitamin D, then you're going to have calcium issues because the body can't use the calcium that it does have. And then if you get enough vitamin D, then you can use the calcium that you're getting out of your foods and whatnot. Then if you have too much vitamin D, like too high, that can be an issue too. So there's a sweet spot with vitamin D that we have to look at. But calcium, don't think calcium supplement, okay? I don't think I've ever supplemented with a calcium supplement ever. Matter of fact, I always try to. I'm real big on supplements not having calcium in it to avoid that. Because you really only need a certain amount of calcium, and you can get it from food. Now, obviously, we've been told our whole lives that milk does the body good, right? So the dairy industry has told us that get your calcium from milk, drink your milk, have your glass of milk, strong bones, strong teeth, and it's true, there is calcium in there for sure. But the protein, the milk protein, the casein protein that is in milk can be a little bit hard to digest for some people. So you have to be careful with that. And there's an issue that can arise from that, so you've got to be a little bit cautious. Now, the other thing, I like to get calcium from your vegetables. Matter of fact, you could put together a glass of milk versus a glass of real kale juice. I know you're thinking, man, I'll take the milk any day. But the kale juice is actually pretty good. It's one of my favorites. But the calcium, the rich, usable, absorbable calcium that's in that glass of kale juice versus that glass of milk, it's almost double the kale juice. And it's a usable form of calcium that tends to, because the calcium in the milk would go into your body, and because there's usually digestive issues with milk and the proteins, your absorption rate for the calcium is not going to be as much as it would be with, say, the kale juice. So eating kale, spinach, arugula salads, you don't have to juice it. You can, literally eat a huge salad. So those are kind of things that can make a big difference with getting the calcium levels that you need, right? So I'd rather get it out of food if I can than have to supplement it. The only time I like to do supplements on that is if I really need it, right? Like vitamin D, after the age of like 45, you don't really even get vitamin D from the sun through your skin. So like that day's kind of over, right? If you're over that age. So going out and baking in the sun all day, thinking you're going to get high vitamin D, that's crazy. Number one, you're wrecking your skin. I mean, wrecking it. The wrinkle, the damage you're going to get from your skin is a nightmare. Don't do that. And when you can supplement, see that's where a quality vitamin D3 supplement with vitamin K2 that's organic and a whole food based. That's where that comes in a great way. And makes sense. So I would look at that. You'll get your vitamin D levels checked. Remember, blood test done every 4 to 6 months, always. Look at calcium levels, look at your vitamin D levels, and make sure that everything's in check. Vitamin D should always run between about 60 and 80 on a blood test. You never want it to get to lower than that. But the calcium I like to get from vegetables. It's my favorite. It's my go-to. It's what we teach. The whole deal. All right. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. You're listening to ASA RX. Go to asarx.com Now, what about going vegan? Can it help with your arthritis? I want to talk about that in just a minute. But first, I want to get on the phone and talk to Barb. Hi, Barb.
Hi, I just found out that I have anemia, and I've got my numbers for my blood work, but I was wanting to know what I should be taking besides just iron pills. That's what they prescribed for me right now.
The thing is with anemia, it's a tricky one because, yeah, everybody goes straight for the iron, but it could be not just iron, it could be B12, right? But then if it's an iron issue, sometimes it's not even the iron. Now we're getting into the chicken or the egg kind of thing. Because here's the reality of it. There's a thing called ferritin that nobody ever checks in the blood test. It's so common, basic test, costs nothing, but nobody looks at it, right? So ferritin is like the storage tank for iron. Most of the time, people have normal iron, and if you check their ferritin, it's like rock bottom. And what does that mean? It means that you've got plenty of iron you're getting in your blood, okay? Like you're getting it from food, it's there. The cells, they see it. But ferritin is what takes it out of the blood, puts it into the cell, so it can be used. If your ferritin's low, you can't do that. So that's where the issue is. So we got to figure out a way for you to really see that and have somebody analyze that. That's what needs to happen. Because, again, you could just take iron and you could just take B12 supplements and cross your fingers and hope for the best. And that's what we call blind nutrition. And that's what most people do, by the way. The doctors don't really care, unless it's like you got to get a transfusion, you're so anemic. They're not going to take the time to do that. Most docs aren't. They just don't have the time, right? So I would do some further testing. Either go back and ask your doctor, or get some more testing, get in touch with our coaches. That's where we can do a deeper dive with nutritional lab testing and see kind of what those levels are and figure out exactly which one to dial in. Because even with B12, you've got different versions of B12. And then you got to figure out if you're MTHFR, which you've got a methylation issue, which is causing you from not being able to use any B12. So you can take B12 but not even be able to use it because you've got a genetic variant. See? And so there's a whole process to that. That's a whole issue within itself on the nutritional side that has to be figured out. So you're going to have more info to be able to know what is happening there. But our coaches can help you easily figure that out. Our providers, we can easily do that. Okay, so just let us know. Go to asarx.com if you need to reach out to us. All right, so we're talking about going vegan and can it help arthritis? So I really like, the more I've studied it, the more I see it, and I'll keep saying this. I'm going to say this from here on out because until the research changes. There's only two diets. I'm sorry. There's only one diet for the two major conditions that we have in this world that kill people. Okay? So there's all these diets, right? And I've written a book and I've got an anti-inflammatory diet in my book. So I'm that guy, right? But I believe mine is extremely balanced, and I believe it's more clinical than any of them, because many of them are fads. They are. And I will say this, all diets work for a period of time. But it takes someone to manage that. You've got to check lab numbers, and you've got to be able to flex with it and give the body what it needs. But there's only one diet that's ever been proven to eliminate or reverse disease. That's it. One diet. Not several. I'm talking one. That's it. In like double-blind studies. Now, everybody makes claims, and we did a university test here on a rat, and we found this, and then they'll write it up. That's a study. That's not a real study, okay? That's not like medical peer review that's respected in the medical community. And you may not care about that, and that's cool. But everything I like to do is evidence-based. I'm a physician myself, and out of respect in that field, out of respect of that craft, we all go by the research. It's the safest, best way for people to follow certain information that we know will work. And so there's only one diet. If you have a clogged artery and you have heart disease, There's only one diet that has been shown to like clean that artery out and reverse it. And that's a vegetarian diet. And if you have cancer, every cancer specialist around the world, for the most part, agrees that if somebody gets cancer, the best diet for them to be on is to come off all meat and go vegetarian. Okay? So if that's the way we go when you get these conditions, it's like you eat however you want and then you get these conditions like cancer or like a 97% blockage, right? And you're facing a stent. And then we go, well, okay, let's do the vegetarian thing, right? My question is, why do we wait that long? Like, that's my question to myself. Because I've eaten meat for a long time, my whole life, even while I've been doing this. And I do believe that meat has its place. I do. I'm not a no, like teetotaler kind of person, but I do eat now about 90% at least vegetarian. We call it pescatarian because I do eat fish and eggs no matter what. I think those proteins are vital. People argue with me on that in the vegetarian world. They're like, oh my goodness, and they'll show me all kinds of things. But fish and eggs, I mean, they're extremely important. But I want to continue this conversation because going vegan and vegetarian has been shown to help arthritis as well. So beyond, heart disease and cancer, I want to talk about the arthritis component when we come back.
To experience more of ASA RX audio, visit us at asarx.com. Hi, it's Asa here. Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Do you need a new prescription for your life? I have a special gift for all my listeners. I'm giving away a free copy of my international best-selling book to help you truly live your potential. All you have to do is cover the shipping and handling, and I will give you the book absolutely free. I want to invest in you and your health this year. So get your free copy of my book by visiting myfreehealthbook.com. That's myfreehealthbook.com, and let's get healthy together this year.